Hello, my name is Gorincioi Grigore. I'm from Republic of Moldova. I'm PhD student at University 1 decembrie 1918, Alba, Iulia from Romania. And the topic that I'll be present you today is sovereignty and independence of Republic of Moldova. I decided that for the beginning I'll be give you some general information about the country, and then we'll be briefly analyze the sovereignty and independence in the context of a country that left from the Soviet Union, and then we'll be go through the most important moments of this event. It's important to point out that the independent proclamation, it's not a single event, but it's a series of events making these results happening. So here we have the opportunity to get acquainted with some general information about that. So in order to clarify some details of the history of this territory, I'll be make a short delimitation of first period, but until that, I must say that Moldova is a long-lived country in the Eastern Europe. It's bordered by Romania in the west and by Ukraine in the northeast and south, and the capital city is Chisinau. So here we have this big four period. So I want to emphasize that this delimitation is not very correct because it's a lot of omits, but it's possible to create a clear image on this subject. So first period, it's theory 50 and 1812. The first attestation of Kingdom of Moldova is from the year 3050, and here we see that Moldova has an opening to the sea and a much larger territory than at the present. Of course, in the medieval period, we had many local wars and frequent political and social changes. But for the most part, until 1812, the territory of Moldavia was under control of the Ottoman Empire. The second big period is 1812-1819. So, in accordance with the Treaty of Bucharest in 1912, after Ottoman lose the war with Russian Empire, the Ottoman Empire ceded the Russian Empire the eastern half of the territory of Moldova. So here I will give you some more information about that. So the new Russian province was called Oblast of Moldova or Basarabia, and initially enjoyed a large degree of autonomy. After 1928, this autonomy was progressively restricted, and in 1971 the oblast was transformed into Basarabia Governorate, and in this moment they received completely another status in the context of empire. Russification and assimilation of local population began through the migration of the local population in Russia, and Russian authorities bring other nationality on this territory. So also Russian language become the main language of communication. Also here is very important in this period to make a point that the ethnic specific of the local population of Basarabia and also in Moldavia, another part, is the same with Romania. Of course, there was some regionalism of identification, but the population of Wallachia and Moldavia was similar in clothing, music, language, and religion. Based on this factor, the other part of Moldavia united with Wallachia and create Romania, contemporary Romania that we see now, of course, with some changes. The next big period is 1918 and 1939. So after the end of the First World War, the Tsarist authorities no longer had the capacity to control the territories affiliated to the Tsarist power, and as a result of the international situation, the necessary conditions were to create Greater Romania was made. So also the formation of Greater Romania was an ideal of many people of culture and politics in the both of countries due to the similar characters of the culture and language and history. And after Lenin managed to install communism in the Soviet Union, they also returned to ability to regain the lost territory. And this is why the next period it's 1939 and 1989. Of course, everybody know that 1939 is the start of World War II, and Soviet era for this period. So in August 1939, in the base of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact signed by Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union recognized Bessarabia as beginning with the Soviet sphere of influence, and Romanian leadership was forced to return to Bessarabia. The territory between the Dniester and Prut was under Soviet influence until the fall of the communist bloc. During this period, in this region, it returns to the Russian language, and the population is educated in the spirit of in Soviet spirit. Here we have the maps, very important maps. Here we have Wallachia, and here we have Old Moldavia. This is the part that was going to Russia, to Russian Empire, not to Russia. Here we have the Greater Romania. Here is the old border of Romania with Old Moldavia, a part just of Old Moldavia, and also Romania. And after First World War, this is the Transylvania, Crișana, Banat, Maramureș, Bukovina, and also Bessarabia was coming to Romania, and they make the Greater Romania. So this was the ideal of Romanian nation. Here we have after Ribbentrop-Molotov Pact, 1939. It was this situation. Romania lose a part of Transylvania, and also Bessarabia was taken by the communists. So next is the fall of communism. Here is very beautiful image. Fall of Berlin Wall. This is a symbol of falling communism, falling of communism. And we can say like that in Eastern Europe, the ideas of democracy, liberalism are exported, and many countries in the communist bloc are on the path to create the nation state. So all of the ex-socialist countries adopt the idea to create new countries in the base of the nation. So the road to independence and sovereignty. In the 1980, amid the political condition created by glasnost and perestroika, was created a democratic movement in Moldova, and which in 1989 became known as a Nationalist Popular Front of Moldova. On August 27 in 1989, the Popular Front organized a mass demonstration in Chișinău that became known as the Grand National Assembly. The assembly pressured the authorities of Moldavian SSSR, Soviet Socialist Republic, I'm sorry, to adopt a language law on 31 August 1989 that proclaimed the Moldavian language written in the Latin script and to be the state language of Moldavian Soviet Socialist Republic. The goal of the reformer was to bring the Romanian language and the Romanian culture values in the Moldavian society. So it's important to specify that the Popular Front had as an ideal to return the territory between the Dniester and Prut as part to Romania. Like other Soviet Republic, Moldova began with this idea to prepare the ground for independence, and for a start, the new reformers they enjoyed a really big support, and they held important position in the state leadership. Moldovanism versus Romanism. So unfortunately, I cannot find a very well translation in English, and I just let the term to be like that. So due to the fact that the reform was coming from the new government quite fast, a large part of the population was not prepared for them, and because of this, Moldovan politics and society appeared two large groups. Here it's one group, it's Romanism. It's their adherents of this concept consider that the inhabitants of the Republic of Moldova are ethnic Romanians, and they have the same cultural values as the inhabitants of Romania, and the Republic of Moldova must unite with Romania. And the second one, it's Moldovanism. It's a political, social, and cultural current that support the idea that Moldovans are a separate and different ethnic group from Romanians. So here we have two photos that if somebody go in the street of Chișinău, they can find them everywhere actually. Here it's right that here it's someone, for example, here is someone who there he like Moldovanism. So here is like I'm Moldavian and I'm speaking Moldavian language. And here it's like the thing of Romanism. It's my language, Romanian language. And next slide. So the Declaration of Independence. Um, the Declaration of Independence was signed in August 27, 1991. A large part of the leaders who initiated this project were a part of group of followers of Romanism, and they started the process of Romanization of the population by bringing the Romanian language as the first language in the state. They also adopt the new anthem "Wake Up Romania," which was the same as in Romania. Here we have also a very important point. The leadership of Popular Front Party relied on the fact that the majority of the local population will be want to unite with Romanian based on the fact that they have the same language and culture and uh, as the same like Romanian population. But 49 years in the Soviet Union have left a very strong mark in the minds of the people of this territory. The liberation revolution they started was based on the principle that doesn't was supported by the majority of the population, and this provoked a counter revolution. And it's also very important to point out that even many people who speak Romanian doesn't identify themselves as a Romanian but as Moldavians. Many of the representative of ethnical minorities went on the strike, and uh, in some regions of the country, act of separatism became because of this reform that was starting by Popular Front. So in the end, we have two political forces that were both quite radical, I can say. So a force formed by revolutionaries who wanted to unite with Romania, and a single language and the titular nation, and another one to have just Russian language, of course with Moldavian language to be both equal, and and to release all the aspiration of the Romanian to unite with Romania. So unfortunately, none of them wanted to make some certain concession and areas with, and because of that, they appear conflict on the territory of Republic of Moldova. It's also important that the communists until the revolution had the policy in which all the inhabitants of the state were equal regardless of the language and culture. With the fall of the communism, each state declared that it had a titular nation and had several rights based on the historical factor. And for ethnical minorities was very hard to go through this. And next slide, we have protest against new reform. Here we have protesters with here it's right like we want to create Transnistria. So protests against the new reforms have begun in several regions of the Republic of Moldova. Most of the participants in the protest against the new leadership were Russian, Ukrainians, and Gagauz and Moldavians who considered themselves ethnically different from Romanians. They wanted the Romanian language to be called the Moldavian language, the Russian language to be used in the state institution and to be studied at school. Adherents of the new reforms was called by them fascist and extremism. And this is some of them this is how they start the revolution in the country, counter-revolution. Due to the fact that and yeah, because of that it's starting the Transnistria war. Due to the fact that Chisinau authorities didn't want to go to the compromise, the inhabitants of areas in the east of the country where the population was predominantly Russian speaking, they decided to declare their independence. Russian also offered them political and military support. The political phase of Transnistrian conflict, in which the first armed clashes were recorded, began in September-October 1990 and continues to this day, and the military phase of the conflict took place between March 2nd and July 21, 1992. As a result of the armed conflict in both belligerent camps, there were about 1,400 deaths and over 1,800 wounded, even if at first seeing it was the ethnic difference that formed the basis of the regional conflict. The main factor was Russian Federation that they helped the minorities to and using these territories to keep Republic of Moldova in the sphere of geopolitical influence. So conclusion. In the end, all the changes made the Romanian reformers were not accepted by the majority population. All the attempts and the vision of Romanian reformers have been based on the historical truth, but the changes that the population of the Republic of Moldova has gone through, such as the influence of Tsarism and communism, changed their identity a lot. The war in Transnistria was lost and this region declared itself sovereign. So the Republic of Moldova proclaimed the constitution in 1994 and returned to the relation with the Russian Federation. The Republic of Moldova celebrates 29 years since independence, and the present the political vector is directed towards integration and, into the European Union. However, the struggle that began in 1991 for the choice of European civilization or cooperation with Russia remain relevant today. So this is my presentation. I hope that you take some useful information from here, and I'll be also write some contact if somebody need more information. So once again, I hope this will be good information for you. Bye bye.